Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we travel back to a cold, dark December in 1980, to the eerie quiet of Rendlesham Forest in Suffolk, England. Nestled beside this dense woodland is RAF Woodbridge, a Royal Air Force station, but at this time, it was primarily used by the United States Air Force. It was a place of high security, a critical outpost during the Cold War, bristling with advanced technology and highly trained personnel. But over 3 consecutive nights, something would happen here that would defy all known technology and challenge the very understanding of our place in the universe. This story isn't a campfire tale. It's a documented series of events witnessed by dozens of military professionals, complete with official reports, audio recordings, and physical evidence. It's a case that has rightfully earned the title of Britain's Roswell. Our story begins in the early hours of December 26, 1980. The festive season was in the air, but the atmosphere at the base was about to shift from celebration to high alert. Security patrolmen stationed at the east gate of RAF Woodbridge started seeing strange lights descending into the nearby forest. They were unlike anything they'd ever seen, not a conventional aircraft, not a helicopter, nothing that could be easily explained away. The lights seemed to be coming down in the woods, suggesting a possible downed aircraft. A sense of urgency filled the air. A patrol was dispatched to investigate, consisting of Airman First Class John Burroughs and Staff Sergeant Jim Peniston. They drove their jeep as far as the terrain would allow and then proceeded on foot, deeper into the dark, tangled woods. As they moved closer, the air grew still and strangely electric. The normal sounds of the forest at night, the rustling of animals, the chirping of insects, were gone. All they could hear was the crunch of their own boots on the frozen ground and the thumping of their hearts. Then, they saw it. Through the trees, a brilliant, pulsating light bathed the clearing ahead in an otherworldly glow. It wasn't a fire from a crash. It was something else entirely. As Burroughs and Peniston cautiously approached, the source of the light came into view. Hovering silently just above the forest floor, or perhaps resting on legs, was a craft of unknown origin. It was triangular, metallic, and smooth to the touch, like dark, polished glass. It was about 3 meters wide and 2 meters high. A mesmerizing pattern of blue and red lights pulsed along its surface, and a steady white light emanated from the top. There was no sound, no engine hum, no rotor wash, just an unnerving, profound silence. Peniston, the senior officer on the scene, felt compelled to document what he was seeing. He circled the object, taking notes, observing its features. He got close enough to touch its cool, smooth surface. As his hand made contact, he felt a strange static electricity. He noticed a series of symbols etched onto the craft's body, glyphs unlike any language he knew. He quickly sketched them in his notebook, capturing every detail he could. After what felt like an eternity, but was likely only a few minutes, the craft began to rise silently. It maneuvered effortlessly through the dense canopy of trees, ascended into the night sky, and then shot off at an incredible speed, vanishing in the blink of an eye. Burroughs and Peniston were left standing in the sudden darkness, stunned and bewildered by what they had just witnessed. The following morning, as daylight broke over Rendlesham Forest, the scene of the encounter was treated as a potential crash site. Investigators returned to the clearing. The initial disbelief from senior officers began to crumble in the face of tangible evidence. Exactly where the craft had been observed, they found 3 distinct depressions in the hard, frozen ground, forming a perfect equilateral triangle. These indentations suggested something of considerable weight had landed there. The trees surrounding the landing site also bore marks. Branches were broken, and the bark on the side facing the clearing showed signs of damage consistent with intense, localized heat. But the most startling discovery came from the radiation readings. A team took measurements at the landing site, and their Geiger counters went off the charts. The radiation levels within the triangular area were significantly higher than the surrounding forest, peaking at the center. This wasn't residual radiation from a known source. It was a localized hotspot that had appeared overnight. The physical evidence was undeniable. Something tangible and powerful had been in that clearing. The indentations were cast in plaster, the radiation levels were documented, and the eyewitness accounts from Peniston and Burroughs were officially recorded. The mystery of the Rendlesham Forest incident was just beginning. The forest was holding its breath, and so were the men at RAF Woodbridge. The strange visitor was gone, but the feeling lingered that it wasn't finished yet. Just 2 nights later, on December 28th, the impossible happened again. The lights were back. This time, the response was more significant, more official. The initial reports of strange aerial phenomena were no longer being dismissed. Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, a man known for his by-the-book, no-nonsense demeanor, decided to lead an investigative party into the forest himself. He was skeptical, determined to debunk what he believed was likely a misunderstanding or a prank. He took a handheld radio and a microcassette recorder with him, intending to document the entire investigation. The now famous Halt tape is a chilling, real-time audio record of what happened next. As Halt and his team ventured into the woods, they quickly located the landing site from 2 nights prior. Their equipment confirmed the lingering radiation. Then, they saw the light again. moving through the trees. On the tape, you can hear the raw, unfiltered reactions of trained military men as they encounter something utterly beyond their comprehension. Holt describes a pulsating, red, sun-like light, bobbing and weaving through the forest. It seemed almost playful, or perhaps intelligent, moving away as they approached, then stopping, as if observing them. The light then moved out over a nearby field and began to project smaller, particle-like beams of light down to the ground. Then, things escalated dramatically. The object, or perhaps another one, appeared in the sky and began to fire narrow beams of light directly down into the RAF Woodbridge base. The most terrifying part, these beams were aimed at one of the most sensitive areas of the entire facility, the weapons storage area, a bunker where, it was widely believed, the base's nuclear arsenal was kept. Colonel Holt can be heard on the tape expressing his shock and alarm as he and his men witnessed this silent, precise, and potentially hostile action. They were powerless, watching as an unknown technology demonstrated a capability far beyond their own, right over one of their most secure military installations. For nearly an hour, Holt and his team tracked the objects as they performed impossible maneuvers in the sky. They split into multiple forms, changed shape, and moved at speeds that defied physics, all without making a sound. The incident was witnessed not only by Holt's ground party, but also by other personnel back on the base. These were not flickering lights or misidentified stars. They were structured craft, under intelligent control, interacting directly with a sensitive military site. When Colonel Holt returned, he was a changed man. The skeptic had become a primary witness. He filed an official report, known as the Holt Memo, detailing the events of both nights. This memo, sent to the British Ministry of Defense, confirmed the unusual lights, the landing marks, the radiation, and the beam of light directed at the base. It was a stunning admission from a high-ranking USAF officer. The Rendlesham Forest Incident wasn't just a UFO sighting anymore. It was a multi-night encounter with physical evidence, dozens of military witnesses, audio recordings, and official documentation. The combination of credible testimony from figures like Lieutenant Colonel Holt and Staff Sergeant Peniston, along with the plaster casts of the landing gear, the abnormal radiation readings, and the detailed sketches of the craft and its symbols, makes this one of the most compelling and well-documented cases in UFO history. Despite official attempts to downplay the events, citing the nearby Orford Ness Lighthouse as a possible source of confusion, the witnesses remain steadfast. The lighthouse, they point out, has a predictable pattern and is stationary a far cry from the dynamic, interactive, and silent craft they encountered up close in the forest. The beams of light, the physical traces, the radiation, none of it can be explained by a distant lighthouse. So, what really happened in Rendlesham Forest during those cold December nights in 1980? Was it a secret military prototype being tested? Unlikely, given the reaction of the base personnel and the fact that no nation has claimed such technology even decades later. Was it a series of misidentifications compounded by panic? The calm, professional demeanor on the Holt tape and the sheer number of trained observers make that hard to believe. Or was it something else? A genuine encounter with a non-human intelligence, a visitor from another world or another dimension, making its presence known in a very direct and unambiguous way. The case remains officially unexplained. The witnesses, men who dedicated their lives to national security, have stood by their stories for over 4 decades, often at great personal and professional cost. The evidence they gathered, the recordings, the reports, the physical traces continues to fuel debate and investigation. The Rendlesham Forest Incident is more than just a story of strange lights in the sky. It's a story of a close encounter, documented by the very people tasked with protecting us from the unknown. It forces us to ask profound questions about our reality and the possibility that we are not alone. The forest may be quiet now, but the mystery it holds continues to echo, a powerful reminder of the night the stars came down to Earth. What do you think happened? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy exploring these unsolved mysteries, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation.